You know, I'm continually impressed with the variety and the quality of the services that are available to English speakers throughout the townships. And that said, well, if you live in the Richmond, Danville, and Drummondville area, you're going to enjoy what today's guest has to share with us. Hello again, Ed Humphrey here with a brand new episode, actually the 29th episode of About Townshippers. And in this web series, we talk about the organizations and the individuals that provide important services to the English-speaking communities spread throughout Quebec's beautiful eastern townships. Now, the Richmond, Danville, and Drummondville area community learning centers, better known as the CLCs, well, their main goal is to promote lifelong learning. And they accomplish this by enhancing the relationships between schools, students, parents, and the community. So it's a great concept, and from what I can see, there's also a lot of smiles that are involved. Now, someone that's really familiar with these centers is Siu-Min Jim. She's a CLC community development agent, and we recently had a chat about this local and province-wide initiative. So we're really glad you're here with us today. Let's jump in. Well, good morning, Siu-Min, and welcome to About Townshippers.
Good morning, Ed. Thank you for having me here today.
Hey, Siu-Min, the Community Learning Center initiative has been around in Quebec since about 2006. And if I'm not mistaken, there's over 80 CLCs CLC schools throughout the English-speaking communities of this beautiful province of ours. But what exactly are community learning centers?
Community learning centers. It is, as you mentioned, a province-wide network of community schools, and it's unique to the English schools. And the idea behind that is it's really for these schools to take a community schools approach or a wraparound approach if you look at different community school models from around the world. So that community learning center has a dedicated community development agent to really help bring partnerships into the school and make the school more of a hub for the English-speaking community that it's in.
So do you guys serve or work with and for a variety of slices of the population, or is it just a student population and businesses, or how exactly does it work?
It always depends on what particular partnerships are in play, what the particular goals or focus are for that year, and what needs are most pressing. That being said, we have in our history at our CLC of nearly a decade reached out to partners to offer everything from prenatal courses, parent-on-mother goos, all the way through in-school activities with the classrooms, extracurricular activities, parenting workshops, lifelong learning classes, from baking to welding, community movie nights, and up the way to senior tea and talk. And last year we had a senior walking group. So yes, all slices of life can be covered.
So Siu-Min, when do you guys sleep? That's
like I said, we don't do this all every year,
Okay.
but it does. We serve the needs that are there, and we take a look at what's important for the year, what our partners are most interested in working with, and each year looks a little bit different.
Okay, well, that said, then my massive research team did a lot of work, and if I'm not mistaken, in 2019, the good part of 2020, a period, if we're talking about the kind of connective and interactive activities that you guys do with students and members of the community, there were like over or around 73 of those types of connection types of activities with members of the community. Can you give me maybe one or two quick examples of what those activities could look like?
Sure. One very particular quick example is a bedtime routine workshop that we were able to offer with Townshippers Association, also with Learn as the resource, and that was really to support our kindergarten families and their families with kids 3 to 5, because we really want to be supporting these families in early childhood so that they're more developmentally ready for school when they arrive to kindergarten. So that was one of our focuses. And just to let you know, we are going to be doing something like that this year, later on in the winter. So stay tuned for the more COVID-friendly version. because we are working as a network of the ETSB CLCs to put this together, and with partners such as Townshippers as well.
We're happy to be partnering with you guys, and there's so many great things going on in our our respective English communities. But what's really clear in listening to you today, what's really clear is that the CLC, your CLC, does not work in a bubble by any stretch of the imagination.
No, absolutely not. The whole point of the CLCs is that we are reaching out to our partners, to community service providers, community organizations, in order to facilitate bringing services into our community, into our school. So CLC, we're a school that works really closely with our partners, and without our partners, we're not a CLC.
Okay. Well, that kind of leads me perfectly into the next question, and it's a bit more of an existential question. Is in your opinion, how important is the CLC model in an English-speaking minority context?
It's a good question. Well, one of the rationales behind the Community Learning Center initiative way back when was looking at the fact that in a lot of these communities across Quebec, the English language school is really the last English language institution that exists. So CLCs were there to really support the community via the school, via the existing institutions. So I think CLCs really help bridge that community and create and support that sense of belonging that this English-speaking community might have around the school. I think what also sets CLC schools apart from many schools who do terrific work with the community and with community partners is that they have a dedicated resource. And that's really what a CLC school is. A CLC school has a resource person, a community development agent, to help create those connections with the community, to sit on those partnership tables, to have conversations with francophone organizations, to bring up the needs of our community and see where we can work together. And because a lot of times our English school covers such a broader territory than the francophone schools, it's a lot harder for a school to be able to really get involved at that level without an extra resource that the CLC brings.
And you used a word a bit earlier. You said hub. It's really the goal is for these centers to become hubs, and that kind of says it all, right? If you think of the wheel, and you got the hub in the middle with the spokes going out in all the different directions and keeping everything together and interconnected. That's great. And with over 80 school CLCs throughout the province, that's a lot of great projects that are going on.
I like to think so. And for sure, I mean, the hub has to take a less literal approach this year, because we used to be able to bring in community members into the school to do intergenerational activities, to have community movie nights. But of course, this year we've had to reimagine what a CLC can do, and how are we bringing our community together? How are we connecting our families with the school in a way that is still safe?
For those that may or may not be familiar with, up to now, with your services, and who may want to get involved or get some more information, how do we get a hold of you or your colleagues?
So the schools that I'm attached with, Richmond Regional High School, St. Francis Elementary, you can contact the school on their school website. There's a tab there. And of course, with the other two schools in our CLC, ADS and Drummondville Elementary, same thing. We also have a Facebook page, so most of the information there can be found on Facebook, and that's probably the best source to go to there. But good old-fashioned telephone works too, and those numbers will be on our website as well.
Well, Siu-Min Jim, you're the community development agent at the Richmond, Danville, and Drummondville Area Community Learning Center, and centers. So I'd like to thank you very much for taking some time and sitting down for a chat today.
Thank you so much, Ed. It's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for having me here today.
Well, my pleasure. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And there you have it. Now, if you'd like to learn a bit more about the Richmond, Danville, and Drummondville Area Community Learning Centers, or the CLCs, well, I got great news, because all their contact information is right here, right down below here in the video description. Well, thanks a lot for spending a bit of your time with us today. Now, if you've enjoyed the episode and if you enjoyed the series, please click on the share and on the like buttons. And we, of course, invite you to subscribe to Townshippers Association's YouTube channel. My name is Ed Humphrey, and we're going to be back really soon with episode 30, a bit of a milestone. So episode 30 of About Townshippers. We'll see you then. Take care.